Hello!
We're here!
It's Sidewalk Slam. Yes, indeed. It is, what is it? It's Wednesday, December 7th.
Yeah.
Hot on the heels of Raw's TLC pay-per-view. We're here to talk to you about Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
Hell.
Did you mean SmackDown?
in a
You said
Cell.
Raw.
Oh, right. Sorry.
I thought that was part of the joke.
Right. SmackDown
Yeah,
got TLC.
okay. All right.
I remember being surprised when I saw the ad. I was like, oh, SmackDown gets TLC.
Yeah. Are you one of those people that's like, having a TLC pay-per-view every year diminishes the gimmick of like the TLC match?
A little. I'm not huge on the... Well,
Like Hell in a Cell. Like Hell in a Cell. Like we're going to talk about.
TLC gives them a lot. TLC and Extreme Rules give them a lot more to work with. But because it's like 6 months in advance, you know the date for the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Then it means that you know that 4 weeks before it happens, it's going to be like, you and you in
Hell.
surprise Hell in a Cell. It's like, oh, I get,
Vince still
okay.
says it the best.
Hell in a Cell. Satan's structure, says Jim Ross.
This demonic device that ends careers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes years off your career. Didn't CM Punk say, was it at Hell in a Cell that he wrestled Ryback? And he said Ryback took years off his career?
I think so. I think generally the wrestlers feel that Elimination Chamber is worse.
Oh yeah, isn't it like, the Elimination Chambers I've watched are like, the grading on the side has no give.
Yeah, it looks brutal.
Yeah, and then there's those stupid cylinders.
Yeah.
Jericho got speared through one. Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
I've never, other than, didn't we cover an Elimination Chamber this year?
I don't think so, no.
Pre-brand split?
I don't think they've had one.
No, because when did Ryback win the Intercontinental title? Wasn't it Elimination Chamber? That was this year. Didn't we cover that? Am I crazy?
Maybe.
Because there was a tag team one.
Tag team Elimination Chamber?
This was when Brock... Oh, no, that was when he was last year. When Brock was champion. Wrestling's the worst. I always get all this stuff mixed up. That wasn't this year, was it?
Wrestling's the worst. Adam Savidan, 2016. I mean, that's why we have that shirt. Wrestling will continue till morale improves.
Yes!
Store.loadingreadyrun.com.
Which I didn't think... I should have packed it. Should have worn it today.
It's okay.
Really ruined our branding, Graham.
It's okay. We'll take it to the Rumble. Actually, I need to go back and find out which episode of this show has my thing that doesn't fit on a sign. That Roman, we really disagree. I don't mind your in-ring work, but I disagree with how
We were
you've
talking
been
about
booked or whatever.
Yeah, I have disagreements with Roman, but they can't fit on a sign.
There's something like that. Yeah.
Roman, we dislike your character and feel that it's not fresh and it's not progressing, and we really dislike the way you're booked. But we have nothing against you personally.
Yeah.
It's just your current boss has a liking to you.
Yeah. Speaking of which,
yeah,
we'll get to some of that tonight. But yes.
Oh, sorry. Before we get started, PSA: Graham and I will be in San Antonio for the Royal Rumble
for PAX
South. Sorry,
PAX South.
PAX South. This is my first PAX.
Yeah, it's fun. PAX South is great. It's super chill. It's in a really cool location. There's lots of great food around there. It's awesome.
Okay,
Tex-Mex, yes. And
I've never had Tex-Mex.
And when I found out that it was in San Antonio the same weekend as the Rumble, it was like, I got to go to that. And then, because I've been to a couple house shows, and so have you, but I've never been to a televised, to a taped, an episode of Raw or SmackDown or anything.
Yeah.
Never been to a taped thing. And the Royal Rumble is my favorite pay-per-view. I love the Rumble
It's the best one.
Yeah, I love it.
It's got the most surprises.
Yeah, obviously, WrestleMania is the big one, but
the
Rumble's my personal favorite. So I'm so excited to see it. And because we were going to the Rumble, I got this email that was like, hey, you get to have a day early to buy tickets to take over San Antonio if you want. And I was like, well, it'd be rude not to. Apparently, tickets for that started at, this has been tickets start at only $20.
Yeah.
So I guess for the worst seats, but still, NXT is not as expensive.
Because we only paid it was under $100 for ours.
It was. I mean, it was $65 a person for our seats, which were very good seats.
They're really good. You showed me on the map. I'm like, God damn, that's really good.
It's 3 rows back from the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then there's online transaction fees, and Ticketmaster takes their convenience fee or whatever. So it worked out to I don't know, more than that. But anyway, still, I'm so excited. Right. So Takeover on the Saturday night, and then that thing on the Sunday night. And if you're in San Antonio for that anyway, come over to PAX during the day.
Yeah.
Come by the table, say hi. We're going to have a panel. I'll make sure. I should make sure that the people organizing the panels know that I'm not going to be there on Sunday afternoon. Anyway,
yeah. So we'll be there.
So, Hell in a Cell. Tonight we have, as they call it, a triple main event, which the boys over at OSW Review correctly describe as no main event.
Yeah, that's no main event.
Yeah.
Even a double main event is no main event, right?
A triple main event means no main event. And I don't know why they decided to call it a triple main event, because there's 3 matches taking place in Hell in a Cell. That doesn't mean they all have to be the main event.
Yeah. The main event
is the women's match.
It's the match that goes last.
It's the first time they've ever had a women's match in the cell.
Yeah.
It's the last show on the card. Mm-hmm. Then they're just afraid to call it the main event.
Yeah, that's dumb. I was like so mad when I was watching. I was like, just call it the main event.
Yeah.
What is the problem? Because like there was this whole thing leading up to the event. And they were like,
oh god, it was laborious.
Mick Foley was like, I'm proud to announce that the women are in the main event at Hell in a Cell. Charlotte and Sasha, we're doing this. And then the WWE was like, no. There's a triple main event.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck, why can we just not say, I don't understand the problem.
I assume what happened was like, Mick was like, it's the main event. And then some like corporate decision was like, well, we hadn't actually decided that it was, I don't know, Mick, are we ready to do that? And they were like, well, I'll tell you what, they can go on last, but we'll just say there's 3 main events.
Yeah,
and it's like,
the main event is the match that happens last.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the way main events work.
The match that happens first.
Yeah.
Actually, on the pre-show, real quick, Cedric Alexander, Lince Dorado, and Sin Cara, who is now competing in the cruiserweight division.
Yeah,
which is kind of funny.
He looks heavier than 205.
They don't care. Just he does flippy stuff. Defeats Drew Gulak, Tony Nese, and Daivari at the kickoff show.
Yeah, I love Drew Gulak, by the way.
3v3 cruiserweight match.
I think he's awesome. He reminds me of like Dean Malenko and like those like really technical wrestlers.
Mm-hmm. The cruiserweight division is sweet, but
they have not handled it well.
There's like no story, so
there's zero story. Yeah. They show up on Raw and they wrestle.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is what we said might happen.
Yeah,
is that they're completely
to separated. Brian Kendrick's.
That was a good match.
To his credit, he put story into his matches.
Yeah,
which I think it's this pay-per-view.
There was a whole promo that he.
Yeah,
did
it was awesome.
Before the match where he won the title from TJ Perkins. He did a whole promo and like really built a story for the match.
Yeah,
and there was like, who I think this was on the Mark Remark.
Because this is spoiler alert. This is the pay-per-view where he beat Perkins, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And there was a whole promo thing for it, and then like. There was all this story build up for that match, and then on the kickoff panel, I think it was Lita was like, "Who knows what Brian Kendrick's thinking? He's so weird." And it's like, we know what he's thinking because he's told us laboriously.
They axed like all those people, hey?
Well, they axed Jerry and Lita.
Yeah, they're gone from the pre-show.
I don't know how.
They kept Booker and Renee.
Well, Renee has done an impeccable job of holding the clown posse together. I don't know how Booker managed to survive the.
Dude, every time he says "shucky ducky quack quack" moment of the night.
They made a graphic for it.
I know, right? That means someone okayed it. That makes it even worse.
There's a rubber ducky with dreadlocks. It's so weird.
Where did that even come from?
It's a thing that he says. I don't know, man.
Fuck, man. Now I'm all mad.
All right.
Okay.
So.
And that was my shucky ducky quack quack moment of the night. Right there. You replay that one over and over again.
Live from Boston, Massachusetts. Brought to you by KFC and Mattel.
Yeah. I love Hot Wheels and KFC.
Hell in a Cell 2016. The opening match. Lana comes out to introduce the man who will crush Roman Reigns inside Hell in a Cell, according to her, Rusev. It is Rusev challenging Roman Reigns for the United States Championship.
Yep.
Are they, like... I feel like Rusev is the face in this feud.
Yes, I think we talked about that last time too. Because it's like,
because Roman's a dick.
Because Roman's but
not a kind of fun dick like The Rock or like a badass like Steve Austin. Yeah. He's just kind of a petulant asshole.
Yeah, because this is leading back to where we covered Roman interrupting Rusev and Lana's wedding thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, okay,
that's a
from them,
kind of thing.
what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
I know what they're trying to do. It's like, hey, these two are bragging about how they're in love, and you're all miserable loners.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
This is standard operating procedure.
Yeah. And it was just like Roman came out
and did get some cheers for breaking up this moment.
Yeah.
And then was just sort of like,
yeah. And then this feud just kind of like dissipated for a while.
Yeah.
It just kind of like disappeared.
Yeah.
Because Roman was injected back into the main event scene, and then at SummerSlam is when he won the title.
Yeah.
And then, God, what was the build-up for this match? I can't even really remember.
I mean, it's just sort of been like ongoing because we said,
but I can't remember any like specific like of these other feuds. I can remember specific moments.
So in the last episode, I mentioned that the Monday Night Raw after Clash of Champions.
Yeah, they had a match.
It was Clash of Champions, right? Was that the last Raw?
The last Raw pay-per-view was Clash of Champions.
Before this one, yeah. And there was the Rusev Roman match. And then the next night on Raw, it opened with them having a 25-minute match.
Yeah. Did I say Roman won the title at SummerSlam? He didn't win it at SummerSlam.
He won it, at Clash of Champions, I think, yeah. And there was one cool moment that I recall in the build-up for this, which was they have a match on Raw.
Yeah.
And Rusev is like dazed in the ring, and Roman goes to the apron and gets a chair.
Yeah.
And gets back in the ring, and people are like, "Oh, Roman's finally he's finally snapped. He's gonna just beat the tar out of Rusev."
Yeah.
And then he just sets the chair up and sits down and stares at Rusev. And it's like,
yeah.
That gets you real heat, not heel heat.
Not heel
right?
heat, no.
What that does is piss off the people who thought that you were going to take the story in an interesting way.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, this is really cool. Now they're going to flip Roman into a heel, and Rusev's going to sort of become the face in this feud. No, he's just sitting down. They just did that. Yeah. They just did that to piss me off.
They're going to do the double turn. It's like, nope. No. No, I mean, when we say double turn, we mean that when you have a face and a heel, and the double turn just means they are trying to make them switch positions in the storyline hierarchy, I guess. The most infamous double turn is Bret Hart and Steve Austin at WrestleMania 13. Mm-hmm. They had an I Quit match, and Austin was the heel, Bret was the face. And then Austin, there's an iconic image. I don't actually know if they still show it or not, because it's Austin got cut open, and he's in the sharpshooter, and he's screaming. And that they show that image a lot.
Yeah, and he refuses to tap out.
And he refuses to tap out, and he passed out, and the fans ended up cheering for Austin and booing Bret, which is what they had intended.
Well, because they also had Bret get like really angry and frustrated and start like
he held the sharpshooter after the bell rang, like
started,
he quit,
like, being really shitty about it. Yeah,
Bret was a master storyteller in that ring, though, like unbelievable. Anyway, look, man, I can't help but just be apathetic towards Roman Reigns. Every time he's on this, like if I'm watching Raw and he's on I actually, because I have two monitors at home, I go to my other monitor and just do whatever I want to do. Like if I'm playing a game or something.
I supremely just don't care about him.
It's just, I don't. I'm done, like, and I'm not even mad about him being on TV. I'm just like, I'm just not interested. I'll just not tune in. Or
his promos are badly written. He delivers them poorly. He just comes across as petulant, and they don't. It's clear that they don't know what they want to do with him except push him to the moon for some reason. And they sort of kept him out of the main event scene to like appease people, I guess. But then they've put the U.S. title on him, and now, spoilers. Now he's like still has the belt and is like also sort of challenging for the.
No, he is. Like he's booked in for Roadblock
for the title.
For the Universal title.
And it's like, why?
Yeah, I don't understand. It could have been anybody. Anyone but you, Roman. But you know what actually bothers me the most is he never. Someone's going to correct me on this, but I don't think he ever says like, "Hey, I'm the U.S. champion." You know how John Cena, when John Cena made that title awesome, he was like, "I'm the U.S. champ."
He doesn't care about it. He just has it sort of like slung back over his shoulder, and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" Or he's like dragging it behind him. He's just like, "Yeah, I have this belt, whatever." And
like,
he doesn't care.
Yeah, I just want. I feel very strong. Like there's a lot of like traditions that. Like I don't think are that important. Yeah. Like which champ comes out, or the champ comes out first.
This is why the Intercontinental title so.
I like it.
This is why we feel it's so important because Miz is like, I'm the Intercontinental Champion. Yeah. This is how many days I've held it. Yeah. I'm the best. I'm the greatest.
Yeah.
And Roman's like, I guess they're trying to make him play it cool.
Yeah.
But it makes it seem like they're playing it doesn't care.
You know what I really like though? When they wear it around their waist. I understand for bigger dudes who can't do it. I hate it when they just have it over their shoulder. I guess Kevin Owens can't. Because he's a little bit bigger. But, you know when people drag the title? I don't know. That just bothers me. That's the purist in me coming out, though. Even when Stone Cold did it, I didn't like it. Or when they throw it in the ring.
And so,
get all hot-blooded.
Well, so back to Roman Reigns. The biggest thing that is bothering me currently, and this is what comes up tonight at
Super Reigns?
is... that we're now seeing him booked the same way that John Cena was when everyone hated John Cena.
Yeah,
which is that
you didn't watch Raw this week, did you?
No.
No. So, was it Raw this week or it was this week? Yeah. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. Sorry. Spoiler. I just have to tell you because I want to get your reaction.
Oh no.
So Roman Reigns is fighting Chris Jericho, and the U.S. title is on the line.
Okay.
Man,
putting the U.S. title on Jericho would be really interesting.
It would be because he's we'll get to him. Yeah. We'll get to Jericho, but Jericho has Roman Reigns in the walls of Jericho.
Okay.
And Roman is crawling to the ropes and going to grab him, and Kevin Owens super kicks him. And then I think Jericho gives him a code breaker, and Roman kicks out. Yeah, I think that's how it went, if I'm trying to remember correctly. My short-term memory is just the worst.
Samoans aren't literal Supermen.
Yeah. But anyway, there's very strong instances of Super Roman.
Rusev comes out, Reigns comes out, boos for Reigns. Yeah. His cell descends. It's an imposing-looking structure. For those who haven't seen it, Hell in a Cell, it's like a steel cage, except it extends further. So there's this like...
It's got a roof.
4 foot, a roof.
Yeah.
There's like this 4 foot space between the ring apron and the cell.
Yeah.
So you can sort of run around and move around the ring and like throw people into it and stuff. And it gives you a little bit more room to work with than a normal steel cage. Yeah. And you can't leave is the idea.
Yeah. The idea behind Hell in a Cell was that there is like ideally a babyface trying to get his hands on this dastardly heel.
Yeah.
And he can't. The heel's making his life miserable. And then finally they were put in a cell because neither can get away.
Yeah.
And I think that was the original Hell in a Cell was Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. And that was the case.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's supposed to be a feud ender. A lot of people are super butthurt because they have the same thing every year.
So that's why for TLC I don't mind as much. For Hell in a Cell, that's why it doesn't make as much sense. Because with TLC you can be like, we're gonna have a tables match or a ladder match or a chairs match or a TLC match. You can sort of like...
I felt that, I'll agree with you that it was ridiculous on this card because 3 of them, it was just like... And was Roman and... I hate to use this term, but do you think Roman and Rusev's feud deserved a Hell in a Cell match?
Not really.
Not really. I mean, ideally, the only one actually legitimately was Charlotte and Sasha, I felt. But...
So, the match starts... They fight around a bit. Like, this goes on for a while, this match. I don't know how long it actually took.
It felt like it was, like, ages, like hours long.
It felt long, yeah. But, so whoever's sort of has the upper hand goes back and forth, as it should over the course of, sort of the storytelling of a match.
Yeah.
And Rusev gets the steps, the 13,000-pound steps, and puts it like up on top of the ropes in the corner. And at one point, he wails Roman into the corner head first, hitting his head on the steel steps, and then puts him in the Accolade. And Roman crawls to the ropes.
Each match has an agent, right? And the agent is a person that gives them direction and comes up. I think they come up with the finish. The agent comes up with the finish. So, and agents are usually former wrestlers. I think Road Dogg's an agent now. Actually, he's the only person I know that's an agent right now. But I guess agents and wrestlers can be to blame for this because of like, ultimately it's up to them to be like, we shouldn't do this spot because like you have to kick out, right? So it's like, why would you kick out after that?
So what happens is he wangs him into the steps, and he falls down and he pins him and Roman kicks out. So he puts him in the Accolade and he crawls to the ropes. So then Rusev goes under the ring and gets a chain. Wraps a chain around his hand. Starts attacking Roman with the chain. Then puts Roman on the steps in the ring. And then applies an Accolade with the chain around Roman's neck.
What's our damage modifier at, by the way? Someone tweeted at us when this happened. And I tried to think it through. And I was like, 25% probably for being on the stairs. Like getting a finisher, on, like a submission hold on top of the stairs, 25%. But the chain that was like neck? A 50% damage modifier. It's like,
and he can't crawl to the ropes because he's bent like down the stairs, so he can't like crawl his way out of it. So he stands up. That I have a suspension of disbelief in wrestling that Bray Wyatt is a crazy Appalachian wizard who can hypnotize Randy Orton. And this, I was like, I don't believe this. It didn't make sense. This was ludicrous. Roman stands up, hits Rusev with a Superman punch. Roman gets the pin. Roman wins the match and retains the title. And it was, I don't mind Roman winning. I don't mind him retaining the title. But it was how it was done. The super Roman of like getting wanged into the steps, kicking out, then being put in an Accolade, crawling out, then being attacked with a chain, being put in an Accolade on the steps with the chain around his neck, and standing up. You can't, that's not something you power out of. It's ludicrous.
I'm 100% with you. I thought it was dumb. I was like watching this and I was like, the match, and it even didn't help that the match was just very meh. It was like, I couldn't wait for these two to get away from each other. Like, I was just like, I need Rusev, but Rusev didn't move on to much better. I'll tell you that much.
Rusev really sold. By the way, the actual finish was that Rusev was, after the Accolade thing, Rusev was standing on the steps in the ring, and Reigns speared him off the steps. And Rusev sold that just like whoomph, really, really well.
Rusev is great.
Rusev's really good.
Like, I would love to see Rusev maybe taken a bit more. It feels like he's not taken very seriously. Do you remember like how he never took Bray Wyatt seriously? All year, and then all of a sudden Bray Wyatt's like the most dangerous man on the planet.
Which is great.
Shout outs to the New Day again for that, by the way. They were a big catalyst, I think. Anyway.
Backstage, Tom Phillips talks to Kevin Owens, who's the Universal Champion, and he's asking him if he's worried about Rollins. And Owens says that Rollins isn't a winner because he's like, Rollins beat you on Raw, so are you worried about it? And he's like, Rollins isn't a winner.
He was like, he's not a winner.
He's like, no, he may have beaten me, but he's not a winner. It's this weird like semantics.
Isn't that
conversation.
It was the Raw before this one that Rollins pinned both of them. They had a triple threat, like him, Jericho, and Owens. He says you can call Rollins a lot of things after this match, but not winner. The
next match, however, is Bayley versus Dana Brooke.
Oh God, is this the arm wrestle? They had the arm wrestle for the
lead up to this.
Fuck. Look, man, I did not give a shit. Apologies to both women because I like them both. And Dana Brooke has actually grown on me. I didn't like her like very much at first, but it wasn't really her fault because her usual partner, who was Emma, and they were awesome. They were good in NXT.
Yeah.
And she moved over to the main roster, and I felt like Emma got hurt, and then Dana was just kind of like left. I didn't like her with Charlotte at first, playing like the
crony.
You're the best.
It didn't make a lot of sense.
I think with Emma and her, they were more equals, right?
Yeah.
Like in the partnership. But yeah, I actually like Dana a lot now.
So,
but
because Charlotte and Sasha are feuding for the title, this leaves basically the other going concerns, because they've just ignored the rest of the women's division on Raw. The other going concerns of Bayley and Dana Brooke as basically de facto feuding, because who else is going to feud?
Was it on this? Weren't Nia Jackson, Alicia Fox on the pre-show, or am I thinking about Night of Champions?
Yeah, you're thinking about Clash of Champions. We did that already.
Did we? God, wrestling just bleeds into. Like, I seriously can't keep it all straight sometimes.
Yeah.
All right.
We've been doing a lot of planning for like better stuff that largely is going to be invisible to you, but like for like into 2017, sort of like better pre-production planning for Loading Ready Run. Maybe we can. There's a big ass calendar in the other room. Maybe we can write down. Maybe we can plan.
When we're gonna
plan recording days in advance.
We're kind of slapdash about it.
Yeah.
And I think it's not working out for us.
Well, it's to the detriment of us being able to remember the show as clearly. Yeah. If we could record in the week after the pay-per-view.
Yeah. It's just that
it happens so often.
Like, we've explained this. Like,
we don't need to go into this again.
We don't need to go into it again. Anyway. Bayley and Dana Brooke, it was like okay.
They've been feuding Yeah, you mentioned the arm wrestling thing. So they had a match where Dana kayfabe injured Bayley's shoulder.
Yeah.
And so they've been really using a lot of kinesio tape on the show.
Like everybody.
To like sell injury. Like Cesaro still wears his.
Yeah.
Guaranteed he doesn't need it now.
I don't think so. I think he looks pretty cool when he's wearing it.
So Bayley, then like the next week, Bayley comes out wearing this K tape on her shoulder because Dana injured the shoulder in storyline. And Dana's like, oh yeah, you thought we were going to have a match? Fooled you, we're actually having an arm wrestling competition. Because apparently she can make these decisions. And
this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
Bayley's like, what? And so they bring out a arm wrestling table.
Yeah.
And the crowd did not like this. The crowd, I think the chant was, "This is stupid."
Yeah.
And so, yeah, Bayley's like, but my arm is all right, fine, because Bayley's the underdog. And so, Dana immediately beats her with the bad arm, and then Bayley's like, look, can I use it? I know it's my offhand, but can I use my good shoulder at least? And Dana's like, okay, fine. And it looked like it looked like she was going to win it, and then Dana just wangs her in the head.
Yeah.
And then, and so this is weird. So we talk about wins and losses, right? And how wins and losses shouldn't really matter.
Well, before we went live, it's my personal opinion, and a lot of people, I guarantee you, not a lot of people will agree with this, is that 95% of the wins and losses do not matter, really.
That it's like the story and the character.
It's the story and the character and where we're going, and I remember matches, but I don't remember I don't really care that much about who wins and loses, right? Like if the match is good and the story is good, it's like that 5% when the story is really fucking good, and it's just like that's I think when it matters the most.
So, do you think though that some of what made Bayley's story successful in NXT was that she was an underdog that lost a lot?
Yeah, it's like Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
What they did with Sami Zayn, and I mean, when was the last time Sami won?
Well, the thing is, Bayley's been winning a lot of these matches, and it's sort of like, oh, okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with it, but you don't have the same sort of like, come on, Bayley.
Yeah.
You're just like, cool.
It's like, yay, Bayley. I think with her, I think they're making a point of moving on from the underdog thing.
I guess.
With her, because it's just like, it's Bayley and everybody really likes her, and that's it, kind of. Now you got me. I don't think it. I mean, I think it was just because that storyline worked so well. Yeah. But I mean, like, it doesn't matter what they have her do on the main roster. Like, they don't need to make her an underdog. They just need to write her good material and work on, because it's just like, I feel like that's a cop-out to the current writing staff. It's like, oh, well, maybe you should just make her the underdog again. It's like, no, just come up with something new.
Yeah, right.
And,
That's fair.
do it that way.
Fair enough.
I just disagree with, like, that's the only mode she can work in.
Right.
It's just like with Sami Zayn. It's like,
I guess I'm just surprised they're not trying to basically
just
retell that story on the main roster.
Yeah.
But they don't have to. But I guess
I don't think they have
I'm
to.
surprised that they're not.
I don't think they. I don't know. You know what? I don't even know what they want to do with her. To be honest,
No,
I don't. I have no
match
idea.
Was not great.
It was not very good.
It was.
And it's just like that's what I mean.
Bayley won by pinfall.
Yeah, Bayley to belly.
Yeah.
It's my problem is that when there's no story, even like I guess this was a story kind of, but it was dumb. Like I understand that not everything's going to work.
Yeah.
It's just not for writing. I can't imagine having to write 3 hours of TV a week.
Yeah.
The
storyline for this was basically Dana thinks that she's better than Bayley.
Yeah.
And wants
And
to fight her. And Bayley doesn't really care either way.
Yeah. And Bayley is like a threat to Charlotte, kind of.
I guess.
Because when they introduced Bayley,
as a big deal,
Charlotte was like doing her thing, and then Mick Foley made this big hurrah about how he signed the hottest free agent in wrestling.
Yeah. But it definitely feels like Dana's like, I'm better than you, I can kick your ass because I'm big and strong and you suck.
Yeah.
And let's fight about it. And then Bayley's like, well, I guess I'm not doing anything else tonight, so sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I don't really feel like...
Yeah.
I don't really feel like Bayley really considers Dana a threat, really?
Yeah.
But it's just sort of like, okay, I guess let's fight about it.
Yeah, like at no point did I think that Bayley was felt threatened
no,
or
I don't
like
think she's
was
afraid of
worried.
Dana at all.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's how you put into words what I was thinking. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. It's just like that's the problem with the Raw Women's division. And I don't want to take because I think this Charlotte Sasha feud has been awesome. Mm-hmm. Awesome. I think it's been one of the best feuds of the year. Mm. And maybe not a lot of people will agree with me, and them like hot potatoing the title is what they say when they do title switches every few weeks. You want to divide wrestling fans? Ask them about either hot potatoing or keeping a champion for years on end, because goddamn,
both can work.
Yeah, exactly. But this is the problem with the women's division is like below Charlotte and Sasha, there's nothing. Mm-hmm. Nothing. Like Nia is beating the shit out of people, but that's got to stop at some point, right? And she actually, I guess, spoiler alert, Survivor Series, she taps out to Becky, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah.
But anyway, the women's division on Raw just needs help. I thought, and it's funny because we thought the brand split, we're like, SmackDown, I don't know about your women's division. Their women's division was awesome.
They've been doing amazing stuff.
So it shows us we're not wrestling experts.
Backstage, well, I mean, I would argue that neither are a lot of the writers.
Yeah.
Backstage, Mick Foley and Stephanie McMahon are talking about Survivor Series. So they're already talking about the next special on this special. Because Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon challenged, as SmackDown, challenged Raw to 3 traditional Survivor Series elimination matches.
Yeah.
A women's match, a tag match, and a men's match.
Yeah.
And so that's the entirety of the story leading into the next feud, or the next special.
Yeah.
And also that Lesnar and Goldberg are fighting at that special. And we don't even need to talk about that tonight because that doesn't come up in Hell in a Cell, Lesnar and Goldberg.
No.
But we'll tell you all about it next time.
Yeah.
Jericho shows up. And now what's Jericho been up to? Jericho,
oh my God.
So
Jericho is the GOAT to me.
It says it on his tights.
If anyone says, who's the best wrestler of all time? Chris Jericho, snap answer for me.
It's amazing how he's managed to reinvent sort of his character so many times in subtle ways and that it's always worked. Yeah. And the things that he's able to get to work, the weird things that he's gotten over to make the crowd love. Currently, like, Stupid Idiot is waning a little bit. I think It is also sort of on a slight downswing, when he threatens people that you're going to get it.
Yeah.
That big pop for that, but that's a little bit on a downswing. Right now, it's the list.
Oh my God.
He just he talked about how you're going to go on the list. He's like, I'm putting you on the list of Jericho. You're going on a list. And now he has a physical prop. It's like a metal binder with loose leaf inside.
Yeah.
And when someone goes on the list, he takes out the binder, huge pop when the list shows up.
Yeah.
He writes their name down.
Yeah.
And there's no indication of what the hell it means to go on the list.
Yeah.
There's
and
no one knows. He's never explained it.
Yeah,
it's the list, and people fucking love the list.
I love the list.
Yeah, because Chris Jericho's really good at just working the crowd.
You know, like he'll do things like, you know, where he says you can drink in the gift of Jericho.
Drink it in,
he
man.
talks about, when he talks about the list, he says, ink it in, man. Like, it's just
God damn it.
It's so good. And because leading into Night of Champions, or Clash of Champions, I keep saying Night.
Well, that was the name of a different pay-per-view,
Yeah.
so I don't blame you.
It was the budding friendship of Jericho and Owens.
Mm-hmm.
And these Raws leading up to Hell in a Cell and even after Hell in a Cell were almost all mostly centralized around this friendship.
It's interesting because, like, Kevin Owens is the Universal Championship. He is the Universal Championship.
I am the tag team champion.
He's the Universal Champion.
Yeah.
And he refers to Raw as the Kevin Owens show and everything like that. But honestly, I mean, and maybe this is like sucks a little bit for Owens, or maybe this is going to be helpful to him in the long run. A lot of his run has been characterized by this Jericho thing. Like, I don't have a good idea of honestly how Owens holds himself as a champion by himself.
Yeah.
Because so much of this has been the best friendship between Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho, which has been great. I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
I just think that's sort of interesting.
I think that's a valid concern too. Is just like, has the list become more important than the title?
The title.
Yeah. And I've seen that complaint come up with some people.
I guess.
Is like they dislike how the list is just more of the focus than Rollins and Owens fighting over this title. But again, that's the focus because we as the crowd have become focused on it. That's what we want to see. It's like, which is, again, I guess you could say it's kind of sad that we want to see the list and not the title, you know what I mean? But whatever. It's It's fucking wrestling. Just have some fun with it every once in a while.
So he suggests that he should be on Team Raw, and so should his best friend Kevin Owens. In fact, make them the co-captains of Team Raw.
Yeah.
And Mick and Steph are like, we'll take it under advisement.
Yeah.
We'll get back to you about that.
Yeah.
The next match, however, Enzo and Cass enter to a huge pop.
Wait, when was Ashton Kutcher on Raw? Was it before this?
Yeah.
There was I actually really liked that segment.
Yeah, it was Ashton Kutcher
and the other guy, Hyde. I can't remember his real name.
From The Ranch, which is a show on Netflix.
Yeah.
That's really weird. I watched at the recommendation in heavy air quotes of Mikey Newman because he was just like, I don't understand what I'm watching. And so I watched the first episode of it, and it's like, it's shot like a sitcom.
Yeah.
And there's a laugh track.
Okay.
But there's a lot of like, there's like swearing and a lot of like serious topics.
Okay.
It's very strange. I don't know what that show is trying to be.
With the laugh track?
Yeah, it's real weird. I was telling Paul about it actually. I was like, okay, so it's got Ashton Kutcher and Sam Elliott, who's the guy that always plays cowboys.
Yeah. Does he play a cowboy?
Yeah. Okay. And Paul's like, wait a minute. It's called The Ranch. It's got Ashton Kutcher and Sam Elliott. Ashton Kutcher is his son who left to go to the city and has had to come back to the ranch. And I'm like, yes! How did you know?
That's amazing.
Yeah, because it's like, of course that's what it is. Anyway, it's terrible. Don't watch it.
Okay.
But yeah, so they were on Raw because they
in Los Angeles.
Yeah, they actually like set up a feud kind of by recording like a diss on Instagram, I think it was.
Yeah.
Or Snapchat.
Ashton Kutcher's like, I heard you're coming to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Yo. It was like, all right. Yeah, see you guys there.
This whole segment about the list, and I mean, it was actually.
There's actually one
pretty
point.
funny.
The best part of the whole thing was after Jericho was leaving, and he's like, "You guys are gonna get," and then Jericho leaves off one side, but then comes all the way around to come back and pop his head in through the other side. And it was just, that made me laugh out loud.
It was like this hammer space moment. Because you just know that he had to like leave very slowly and then just like tear around the camera and be like, boop.
And you know he's like trying not to trip on cables and stuff. That's all I can think about is him just like dodging and
so good.
Yeah, it was good.
So yeah, next up tonight, Enzo and Cass come out. Massive pop.
Yeah.
Some notable bits from the Smack Talk. Gallows may be a big gal.
Oh yeah.
But Enzo's been with bigger women than him.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Gallows is big gal and Anderson is Andy.
Yeah.
Andy is like the Times New Roman font, as generic as it gets.
Yeah.
And Enzo says that Hell in a Cell is not Toy Story, and he has a feeling that when this night's over, he's going to be calling Big Cass Woody because he'll have Andy tattooed on the bottom of his boot.
Yeah.
Which is... That's a long walk, but I really enjoyed it. That's a long
It's a real
walk.
long walk, yeah.
But you know what? I thought that one was actually worth the journey.
Yeah. I liked that. Like, yeah, it was good.
Enzo's like, okay, for this disc to work, you have to accept 3 things. Then, Hell in a Cell ain't no Toy Story. Okay, where are you going with this?
Yeah.
You're going to have Andy tattooed on the bottom of his boot.
Yeah.
And that Enzo and that Gallows and Anderson are soft, in case you hadn't heard.
Yes.
So yeah, why are Enzo and Cass fighting Gallows and Anderson?
Fuck. Was there a reason?
It's weird. Gallows and Anderson, every tag team on Raw is like kind of goofy right now.
Yeah, a little bit.
Even Gallows and Anderson to an extent.
Why were these two teams fighting?
On the October 10th episode of Raw, Gallows and Anderson attacked Enzo and Cass.
Oh, right.
And then on the following week, Big Cass defeated Anderson one-on-one.
Yeah.
And then they made a match.
They were just fighting. There wasn't a real reason. They're just beating each other up.
Having a feud.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not? I mean...
As it happens, they're all fun to watch.
Okay, we talked about this before we started filming, but the New Day are the tag team champions.
Yeah.
And the reason that they are still the tag team champions is because we think, I don't know for sure, but the WWE wants to remove Demolition from the record books.
They love breaking records. I don't know if they necessarily have any ill will against Demolition personally.
Really? Okay.
Maybe they maybe I don't know. Maybe Vince doesn't like him for some reason, but they do like to break records like that. And so they've been saying for a while now that New Day are within striking distance of the tag team record, which is the record of Demolition at 498 days or 78 days.
I thought it was just a little bit over 400.
I can't remember. Okay, maybe
I think it's just a little over 400 because they break the record next week, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Finally. So this is put my problem with this is it's put a stopper on the whole tag team division because, and again, the writing team should be able to come up with, or I shouldn't say should. The writing team would need to work harder. And you know what? Maybe they are working hard. See, this is where I don't like talking in absolutes, right?
Yeah.
I just feel like it feels like to me watching it that not enough attention is being given to the tag team division.
Yeah.
Because the New Day are the champions, and we know they're not really in any risk of losing those belts until the streak is over, because so every New Day match is just kind of like, all right, whatever, we know they're winning.
Because basically once they started bringing it up and once it started getting this close, you sort of know that they're going to hold it until they break that record.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a Chekhov's gun thing. It's like if they talk about the record that much, then they're going to break it. Either that or Demolition's going to show up and stop them, and that's not a thing. That
Are either of those guys still alive? The original Demolition, they still alive?
Demolition is alive. I believe the Road Warriors, because Road Warrior Hawk passed away.
Yeah.
Axe is 68.
Okay.
Smash, Barry Darso, is 57. If you want to include Crush, Bryan Adams, he did actually pass away at the age of 43 in 2007.
Jesus, really?
Wow, 43.
Damn. But yeah, so the original Demolition members are still alive. They're still spring chickens. 68 and 50 something?
Yeah. That's not...
They got a run left in them, right?
I seriously doubt that. Anyway, the point is, the fact they're bringing it up so much, and it's the way that wrestling works, everyone sort of knows that the New Day is going to break the streak. So...
Yeah.
there's the same problem we have with Roman, that he's the super Roman, takes all the stakes out. It's just like, oh, so New Day's going to hold the titles without competition.
Yeah. But anyway, that's a really long aside to say that
the Raw tag team division is pretty stagnant.
It's pretty stagnant, and it's just like, I feel like a lot of people are upset because the club has suffered by proxy.
Yeah.
Because they came in as these two complete badasses.
Yeah.
And they just had to lose to the New Day over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's like, I still love the club. I still think they're badasses. I know the general public doesn't, but I'm excited. We just need to move on from this fucking streak and just like have
pop quiz.
Yeah.
Enzo and Cass, Gallows and Anderson, and the New Day.
Yeah.
Who else is in the Raw tag team division?
Okay, just wait. Shining Stars.
Yep.
Cesaro and Sheamus.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Technical, but yeah.
Final answer.
Golden Truth.
Ah, shit! Yeah.
There might be another one. I legitimately don't know.
I think that's it.
Because was that the whole match at Survivor Series?
Golden Truth wasn't even in it, were they? Yeah, they were. Yeah, it was Golden Truth, Cesaro and Sheamus, Shining Stars, Enzo and Cass, New Day. That's 5.
Yeah.
I don't know why I counted it like that, but there's 5.
Are there any other?
Oh, no. I don't
Okay.
think so.
All right.
That's it. 5 tag teams.
Okay.
But I mean, SmackDown doesn't have that many more.
No. But it's just like but the other ones.
I could probably name them all, like Ascension, Vaudevillains, Hype Riders, American Alpha, Slater and Rhino, Wyatt Family.
Breezango? Yeah.
There. But I had to think about the Raw. I was like, and I forgot Golden Truth. So
the Shining Stars are terrible.
They're telling. There's actually update on the Shining Stars. They're selling timeshares to people. That's their gimmick now.
That's what makes them bad guys. Is that they're trying to they try to sell you timeshares to a resort in
Puerto Rico.
In Puerto Rico.
Come to Puerto Rico, the Shining Star.
The Caribbean.
Come to the Caribbean. Gallows and Anderson win this match, right?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
it's fine.
It's fine.
Not amazing.
Look, man, I'm sorry, but we have a hard time because the focus of this show is story.
Yeah,
and it's hard for us to talk about some of these matches when there's no story.
Yeah. The next match.
That doesn't mean I don't like the match.
Yeah,
I liked it just fine. But I mean, our focus as far as verbal exchanges between Graham Stark and Adam Savadan is based on story.
Yeah. The next match does have some story leading into it, and it's the Universal Championship.
Yeah.
So it's another Hell in a Cell match. Kevin Owens defending against Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Rollins is his back is taped.
Yeah.
With the K tape.
With the tape.
Because of injuries from Raw.
Yeah.
Because was this powerbombing on the apron?
Yes. Yeah. That was on the Go Home episode, wasn't it? He got powerbombed on the apron?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, they've been going back and forth.
Basically, Rollins lost at Clash of Champions after Jericho interfered.
Yeah.
And then they were just basically feuding back and forth in the lead up. God, I'm going to get this mixed up. I just know it. In the lead up to this, was this where Jericho was banned from ringside?
At one point, yeah. And there was another instance where
was this the no DQ, but Roman and Jericho were banned from ringside, or was that after? That's leading up to Survivor Series.
That was leading up to Survivor Series.
Fuck. Okay, then never mind. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. So there was a match though that it was Jericho versus Rollins.
Yeah.
That if Jericho won, it would be a triple threat.
Yes, that's what it was.
Which was sort of interesting because Owens was like, "Why do you want to do that, Chris?"
Yeah.
And Jericho's like, it'll be great.
Yeah. Jericho, I love how the way that this was building was like, Kevin Owens is still kind of mistrusts Chris Jericho, kind of.
Yeah.
And then Jericho is like all in on the friendship. He's just like, I'm all in. What do you got? Yeah. It's like,
let's do it.
Yeah. And
he's like, no, it'll be great. If both of us are in there, we can beat the crap out of Rollins, it'll be great.
Yeah.
And Owens is like, okay. I mean, I don't need the help, and B, I don't know that I totally trust you, but sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's see where this goes. Why
and then,
not?
like, these
Rollins
two
won
have
that
been
match, so Jericho's not in this match.
Yeah. These two have been Jericho and Owens have been the best part of Raw. Hands down. Like, there's not even an argument. Again, we've said what our worries were and what a lot of other people's worries were, is that the list is just too good. And it was becoming the focus of this feud. Because people were more excited to see the list than they were to see Rollins get his hands on Owens, right?
Yeah.
And Owens will never be, against most of the roster, Owens will never be like a pure heel. Because people love him too much.
Yeah.
We all like Owens too much. I would not boo the man if I saw him. Or when I see him. When I see him at Royal Rumble, I will not boo the man. Or refuse. Because he's just too good.
It's too good.
Yeah.
So at one point in this match...
Oh my God. One of my best favorite moments of the year happened in this match.
What is it?
Is it how they get Jericho in the cage?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
No.
Okay.
Please.
So
you probably remember it better than I do.
When they're putting them in this cage, you're like, I know Jericho is getting in this cage somehow.
Yeah.
How are they going to do it?
Yeah.
And in the words of fucking, what's his name? David Otunga.
Yeah.
Golly, did they get him in a good way?
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah. Because this match is happening, which is a very good match. And Owens goes outside and under the ring.
Yeah.
And grabs a fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
And he pulls it out and he's fiddling around with it and he looks like he can't figure it out. And the ref is bent over telling him like, hey, you need to get back in the ring. And Owens goes and actually makes it go off and it hits the ref.
In the face.
And he's like, oh no. What, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, what did I do?
Did I hit that ref in the face?
Yeah.
Darn it.
Yeah. And then when that happens, the ref gets sprayed and the other refs are outside and they're like, oh my God, we got to help this other ref. He's hurt. So they unlock the door.
Yeah.
And as they unlock it, Jericho runs down and like basically puts his foot in the door and stops them from closing it again.
Yeah.
And then gets in there and locks the door.
I like that he accidentally hits the ref in the face. It's like, whoops, didn't mean to do that.
Yeah.
And then like waits for a second and is like, and does it again. Like as the ref has his eyes covered, he's just like, and like, sprays him some more, clearly on purpose.
One of my favorite moments of the year. I thought it was brilliant. Fucking brilliant.
It was a little awkward how slowly like Jericho relocked the cage a little bit, but whatever.
Whatever.
So,
that's
yeah.
Nitpicking.
Now, at one point prior to that, Owens goes outside the ring and goes under the apron for a table.
Yeah.
And there's already a table set up at ringside.
Yeah.
He went to get the one table and is like, oh, there's another table here. I wonder, what if, how do I, and he's sort of like figuring stuff out. And so what he ends up with is he wedges he puts the legs of the table through the chain link of the cell.
Yeah.
And so that the one side is being suspended on the side of the cell and the other table is resting on the first table.
Yeah.
So you've got one table between the apron and the cell and then another one at 45 degrees outside the ring ropes.
Yeah. And what's like one of the 10 commandments of wrestling? He who sets up the table shall inevitably go through it.
Pretty much, yeah. Unless you don't. But generally that's what happens.
Yeah, one of the sort of commandments.
Yeah. So Jericho is now in the cell. That table's set up. Mm-hmm. Jericho also has the key to the lock.
Yeah.
There's a new referee who's now yelling at Jericho. A stupid idiot chant fires up, obviously. And Jericho starts interfering with the match and like, messing with Rollins and stuff.
Rollins is fighting both of them off.
Yeah. And he does manage to like get Jericho out of the way for a while, which is good. Rollins gives Jericho the pedigree.
Yeah.
And gets Jericho basically out of the equation. Hits Owens in the head with an enziguri. Then tries to pick him up for a powerbomb, but Owens is a big guy.
Yeah.
Eventually does get him up and powerbombs him through both of those tables.
Yeah.
And so the prophecy was foretold.
Yes.
You know.
As the prophecy foretold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This looked awesome, by the way, and the crowd is so hype.
Yeah.
In this
the match
moment.
was really good.
Yeah. Then, Jericho does get thrown into the wreckage of the tables.
That's what it is, yeah.
After the time. Owens super kicks, like, eventually Owens manages to, like, find his bearings, and thanks to Jericho's help, and super kicks Rollins and gives him a pop-up powerbomb, but Rollins kicks out. Then Jericho comes in with a steel chair, gives it to Owens. Mm-hmm. Owens wails on Rollins, injured back. Remember?
Yeah.
Storytelling.
Yes.
Injured back.
Yes.
With the chair.
He tears off the tape at one point.
Yes.
Earlier in the match. Sorry, we should have brought that up. But.
And then hits a DDT onto the chair.
Yeah.
And then sets up 2 chairs and then power bombs Rollins through both chairs. Yeah. And then retains the title with that.
Yeah. That's a perfect way for Kevin Owens' character to win a match.
Yeah, it was great.
He's never going to win fairly.
Yeah.
They still don't want to boo him.
Yeah. Like again, Owens and Rollins and Jericho, but Owens in-ring storytelling work is great. Mm-hmm. The bit with the table was like his sort of business that he does. Like it's a term in like I think it's a term in acting when it's like, can I do like some business in this scene? Like like how Brad Pitt always likes to eat when he's acting.
What?
Just like something to do rather than just I'm standing here doing my lines, right?
Yeah.
Like the business.
Wait,
like
Brad Pitt likes to eat when he acts?
Yeah.
Is that like a request he makes? He's like, yo, can I like...
I don't know, but there's like montages of him like just eating and like all of his movies. It gives him something to do.
I'm going to YouTube after. Brad Pitt eating.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I never noticed that.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's just, it's sort of interesting, right? It's like, it just gives him something to do, something to work with, And so like his business with the tables and with the...
Because we all eat, right?
Yeah, exactly. Everybody eats. It's so relatable.
Okay.
And the fire extinguisher was great.
Yeah.
And then Jericho coming in and the stuff with the tables and how well Rollins held his own, but not in an unbelievable way. When fighting with Jericho and Owens, and then working the back and everything, it was really, really good. And Owens retains. So there we go. After the match, Jericho also hits Rollins with a code breaker.
Yes.
Just
because.
For funsies.
Yeah.
Because why not? Next up is the Cruiserweight Championship match.
Yeah.
Brian Kendrick challenging TJ Perkins for the title. They play a bit from the kickoff show.
Yeah, this was awesome.
Where Kendrick is like, look, man, I'm not a spring chicken here.
Yeah.
I need this.
Yeah.
We're friends. We work together. I helped train you. And he's like, we're not really friends.
Yeah,
maybe not
friends. Headbutted me after
after
I
kind of a
beat
dick
you.
before, but he's like, look, man, I really need this. I need to win this. Like, I need to win this title. And Perkins is like, okay, well then, win the title, man. Let's go out there and let's have a fight and let's win the title. And let's, all right, let's do this. Yeah. And then Kendrick says, no. You need to let me win this title.
It's like, oh, shit.
And Perkins is just sort of like,
excuse me?
Don't know how to respond to that.
Yeah.
So there's actually, despite what we sort of, this blanket statement about being no storyline in the Cruiserweight division, I mean, largely no storyline, but this match had story.
Yeah.
And there was storytelling in the match. It was really good.
Dude, there was one moment where Brian Kendrick, tapes TJ. It didn't work out that well, but I love the idea of it. So desperate to win this title that he
gets him outside the ring, takes off
his wrist tape, and then ties it to the rope so he can't move.
So he can't get back in for
he's getting counted out. Yeah. So that was pretty great. Which is if you think about it, it's kind of dumb because we've talked about how you only have to get your shoulder in. Mm-hmm. It's like even if you're tied to the ropes, just put your shoulder in and that's it.
Yeah.
But I just liked it. It gave me a sense of Kendrick is desperate to win this match. And he knows that from what we can tell from his character is that he knows he can't beat TJ Perkins straight up.
Yeah.
He think if we wrestle a match, I am winning 1 out of 100.
Yeah.
But it's if I cheat, which I'm willing to do, it's or if I use tomfoolery, then I have a shot, which I loved.
Yeah. So what ends up happening, because Perkins is basically being you need to let me win. Obviously, Perkins doesn't want to actually do that, but just having that thought obviously rattled him.
Yeah.
And so he's not. I don't think he's being as aggressive as he would otherwise.
Yeah.
Right. He's. I don't think it's
pulling back
intentional,
a little bit.
but I think his character is subconsciously, holding back a little bit. And at one point, Kendrick's knee goes out.
Yeah.
Or it appears to.
What does he do?
Well, he does slice bread number 2.
That's what he does.
Which is his running up the thing. And then he...
like lands on his feet?
Yeah, and Perkins throws him off, and he like lands weird, and he's like, "Oh, yeah," and his like knee goes sideways or whatever, and then the ref's like, "Oh crap," and comes over and checks on him, and TJ's like, "Oh God, I don't want to win the match like this, you know, with the guy being injured." And then he goes over to check on Kendrick, and Kendrick headbutts him, like surprise, I'm fine. Headbutts him, puts him in the captain's hook, and wins by submission.
I almost called it the bully choke there.
So. In-ring, like, in terms of in-ring stuff, that like the match was only kind of like, but there was some just great storytelling moments.
I felt really bad because the crowd was so dead.
Yeah.
It's like, boo crowd, this is great, but I mean, like, maybe it didn't translate that well into a live setting because...
Yeah.
But again, I guess that was more of a problem of, like, how they're handling the cruiserweight division as a whole. You have all these great people that came out of the Cruiserweight Classic... And now it's just like on Raw, they literally just throw them out there for a match, and that's it. You know, with the exception of Perkins and Kendrick.
Yeah.
But that was more just like we gave Kendrick mic time or like a promo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was more like, hey, we gave Kendrick something, and he's been given the chance to like add some characterization into this, and that's all we got.
Yeah. The next match is the New Day defending against Cesaro and Sheamus. And you mentioned this earlier when you were listing off the tag teams.
Yeah.
So what happened there? Well, we talked last time. We actually mentioned this briefly, but Clash of Champions was number 7 in the best of 7 Cesaro-Sheamus series.
Yeah.
And it was
awesome.
A great match, honestly.
Each match I felt like in that series just got better, like than the last.
But it ended with a no contest.
Yeah.
And so we were like, well, how do you get people invested in, like, that was amazing, but how are you going to make people care about number 8 now?
Yeah.
Which was exactly what Mick Foley said the next night on Raw when he's like, well, look, I can't, you know, you guys beat the hell out of each other. The whole point was to prove who's more dominant, and you're obviously both hugely dominant, so you're a tag team now.
Yeah. And he brought up how he was paired, when he was paired with The Rock, nobody thought that they would make anything of it.
Yeah.
And then they became.
And they're both incensed at this. They're like, how dare you? I hate this man. This is a terrible idea. I don't want to do this.
The build up to this feud was actually the build up for this is pretty sweet. Just like Cesaro and Sheamus fighting basically jobbers. Yeah. And trying to one-up each other.
Yeah.
It was pretty great.
What happens that night is because he's like, I said whoever won the 7-match series would get a title shot.
Yeah.
So now you both get a title shot at the tag titles.
Yeah.
And that was that night.
Yeah.
And they do not win because they cannot work together.
Yeah.
But Foley's like, no, you guys are a tag team now. Figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, and they sort of goes on. They're always trying to walk in front of each other to get to the ring.
But I love how, you know, but they put them up against jobbers because they're a new tag team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like they're an established working unit. They're like, okay, well, we got to break these guys in.
Yeah.
Let's throw some random locals out there against them. I just love the touch of it. Like they didn't say it on camera, like, hey, we're going to give you something to like sink your teeth into or like get used to being a team. They just did it. And it's just like that, was it like secondary storytelling, like the stuff that you don't have to say out loud. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if there was a word for it, but yeah, I don't know. This is really growing on me.
There was one match where it was Sheamus had a singles match, and Cesaro was streaming the whole match on Facebook Live from his phone. Yeah. And it ends up being a distraction and costing him the match. But Cesaro's like, look at this. Look at him lose. And it's like they still don't like each other.
And
very
like,
much.
there's a couple backstage statements where they like trying really hard to like each other.
Yeah.
But there's that like underlying like acidity to every statement they make. It's pretty great. I actually really like this team up.
On the Raw,
I didn't think I would like Sheamus. Yeah. From what we had seen of him before, pre-Best of 7 series with Cesaro, I was like, I don't know, Sheamus is like okay. Yeah. His feud with Roman was like whatever. It was more just like anyone but Roman. It was like I was happy to see Sheamus as the champion.
Sheamus has always, not always, but for large stretches, certainly when he debuted, has always been sort of okay.
Okay.
But this was, you know, with moments, with like some real moments of like this guy's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, this feud has really, really helped him, I think.
I think so. It's helped.
I don't think it's hurt Cesaro. I don't think it's helped Cesaro as much as it's helped Sheamus, but that's because I already held Cesaro in higher esteem.
Yeah.
But anyway,
there's also Cesaro was always talking about Cesaro and didn't Cesaro and Sheamus get left off the Survivor Series poster, like the tag team?
Oh, no, it was Cesaro got left off the poster for
Finn Balor was on there, and he's hurt.
For the live tour of Switzerland.
That's what it was, yeah.
He's like, this is my hometown. And Xavier Woods was on there twice because of a Photoshop error.
Yeah, and Finn Balor was on there, and he's hurt.
Yeah.
And then I think this has prompted, Daniel Bryan has been like, hey, you can always come to SmackDown, so...
In the Raw prior to this, like the Go Home Raw for this special, Cesaro and Sheamus had a match against the New Day.
Yeah.
Again, I think that's really stupid when they do we complained about this before with Roman and Rusev. I think it's dumb when they do the match for the pay-per-view a week prior. I hate it. But what did happen was that Cesaro and Sheamus won this match.
Yeah, so but then you know that usually that means that whoever wins, if they're fighting at the pay-per-view, whoever wins on the Go Home Raw is losing.
Yeah. But that's a shorthand that always seems to come up. But what that did mean is that then they were very confident going into this.
Yeah.
And there's a backstage scene with them beforehand where Sheamus is getting ready and Cesaro comes in and is like, hey man, here's your wrist tape. How's it going? All right.
This is one of those things where it's like they still really don't like each other, but like they're being really nice to each other.
Yeah, Sheamus is like, that's the only nice thing you've ever done for me. And so I was like, well, I'm trying my best here. Let's do this.
Yeah.
If you can just not talk so much, then it'll be great. What do you mean? Well, it can get kind of annoying. Well, you're annoying. And it just start bickering back and forth.
Man, the more we talk about this, is like the more I like it. Because I remember, I don't know, just hearing it again.
The New Day comes out.
Yeah.
They cut another great New Day promo. Kofi talks about his shoes.
Oh, yeah.
Which are the Rob Gronkowski signature shoes.
Yeah.
Woods says that is ultimate pandering because they're in Boston.
Yeah.
And I believe that that's relevant to Boston.
Oh, Gronkowski?
Yeah.
He's a receiver for the New England Patriots.
There we go.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sorry.
Thank you.
You're like, I believe that is relevant.
Sports. It was obvious that it's someone from a local team.
Yeah.
But I didn't know.
Yeah. Go sports team.
And they talk about how basically their whole thing is like Cesaro, like obviously we're better than Cesaro, but we don't really feel any great ill will towards him. But shame us.
Yeah. That's still one of my
having to fight. Shame us.
When they're riving or feuding with the League of Nations, it's still one of my favorite promos.
Big E says Sheamus has sponsorship deals rolling in, and Wood says it's probably for toilet paper and trash cans. New Day rocks. So,
do you think are you getting tired of the New Day at all?
They've had some misfires in terms of the actual promos, but I'm still super entertained whenever I see them. So
I still really like them.
It's Woods and Big E defending Kofi, and his Rob Gronkowski shoes are sitting this one out.
Yeah.
And the team of Cesaro and Sheamus are not as in sync as they were on the Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
So you can sort of, we already talked about how it's
I'm one of those people that sticks by the ideal, too, of like, tag teams should always beat people that are put together. Mm-hmm. Just because it's like, they're a team.
Yeah.
And they've wrestled with each other for years. The
crowd, by the way, is really into the Sheamus thing because there's like the Game of Thrones with the shame.
Yeah,
shame. So when Sheamus gets tagged in, the crowd starts chanting shame, shame.
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
I think this is where that originated, was at this show. Because crowds have done it since then.
Yeah.
But yeah, the match is good.
Yeah.
Again, like I was into it just because these two had grown on me. The finish is okay. Cesaro has one of them in the sharpshooter.
Cesaro has Woods in the sharpshooter.
Yeah.
At the same time as Sheamus, Big E is trying to get back in the ring to break it up.
Yeah.
And Sheamus stops him from getting in the ring and hits him
with the trombone.
With Francesca 2.
Francesca 2, that's it.
And then Kingston comes up to Sheamus and gives him a Trouble in Paradise outside the ring. The ref is watching that as Woods taps out.
Yeah.
So the ref calls for the bell as Woods is tapping out.
Yeah.
And so Cesaro's like, we did it!
Yeah, we did it. We won! Yeah.
And then
Dude, how many times have they done this finish this year?
Twice? I don't know.
No, but I mean, overall, this finish has happened a lot. Like, someone's in a submission, and then something happens, and the ref calls for the bell right as the person taps out.
I only recall this one in the Corbin one.
It happened at some point for the... Was it the Miz finish?
Oh, yeah, right.
Miz and Sami Zayn did that, didn't they?
Anyway, then the ring announcer comes on and goes, your winner by disqualification, Sheamus and Cesaro.
Yeah.
So still your new champion, still champions the New Day. And so Cesaro is like, what the hell, man? What happened out there? Why were you getting involved? And, they argue because,
Yeah.
So the New Day, I mean, this one's interesting because it's like technically the New Day retained by DQ, but they only sort of did that because it's like Big E was trying to get back in the ring, Sheamus was trying to stop him, Sheamus attacked Big E with Francesca 2, which would have been a DQ for them, but the ref didn't see it. So then Kofi attacked him, and then so anyway.
But there's been points leading up to since this win for the New Day have been defending their titles almost every week.
Yeah,
because they were mandated, but they've been outright cheating.
Yeah.
To do it, to keep their title. So,
what if?
Yeah, I'm listening.
What if they start cheating more and more obviously because they want to break that record, and then they don't make it? How mad would they be?
The New Day?
Yeah.
Pretty upset.
Could they actually
turn heel?
Could people actually not? Could they be so mad that people wouldn't like them? I don't think so. I think they're too over.
Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea, but that the opportunity to do that story has already passed, as of recording this, has already passed us by. Because that record's going to be broken soon.
Okay.
Because I think this is the Wednesday. This is Wednesday, December 10th?
7th.
7th?
Yeah.
Fuck. This coming up Monday Night Raw, I think, is when they break the record. I think.
478 days is the record.
Okay. I don't know what they're at.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
Well.
I think it's soon, though. But that's a good idea. Just trying desperately to hold on and cheating and doing everything you can to win. I don't think people would still boo them, though.
No, I don't think so.
I think we like the New Day too much. We like saying who too much. Who.
And finally, not all main events are created equal. And your mainest event of the night.
Yeah. The mainest event.
Sasha Banks defending against Charlotte.
Yeah.
In a Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah.
A historic event.
Congratulations, girls, by the way.
Here's the thing. This is historic because it's the first time that there's ever been a women's Hell in a Cell match, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
We didn't need 4 weeks of being told laboriously how historic it is.
It was fucking, it was
the word historic got thrown around like confetti.
Yeah, but I mean, we throw historic around the human race, not us, not me and Graham, but I mean, there's a lot of words that don't mean...
lesser humans. There was 1 week on Raw where they didn't even have a match. They just showed interviews that Lita interviewed each of them individually about how does it feel to be in a Hell in a Cell match? And it's oh my God, we don't need this in a sit down interview. If you want to tell them, if you want to get them to do this, have them cut a promo. But
I think Charlotte has been the best wrestler on the Raw roster. All package. Mm-hmm. Her promos are good. Her in-ring work is good.
Yeah.
She's been the best Raw wrestler. Hands down, for me this year.
Yeah.
If we're going to do
I'd buy that.
I don't know if we can squeeze it in because I don't want to guarantee anything, but an end of the year.
Like a best of?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you've been keeping track of like matches and stuff.
Vaguely. Yeah, just stuff I liked. Yeah. I actually rewatched Nakamura versus Zayn from that Dallas takeover again this last weekend. Still just as good. Yeah, it's still good. I don't want to go too, because I'll just start popping off again. But it still blows my mind that they didn't talk before that match.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it. Even the 10th time watching it, I'm like, how? How do they? How? Like, I just don't get it.
I don't know either.
You put me in there with somebody, like, yeah, you got a match against Nakamura, but you can't talk to him before you have it. I'm like,
I'm going
poop
to
soup.
Yeah, poop
That'd be the worst match ever.
Soup.
Anyway, so Hell in a Cell, Sasha Banks versus Charlotte.
Charlotte comes in on a throne being carried by 4 servants.
Yeah.
Which is
Pretty sick.
Pretty rad.
Yeah.
After her music stops, there's a huge "We Want Sasha" chant. Sasha enters in a giant black Escalade with security guards hanging off the outside, and she climbs up through the sunroof.
Yeah.
And it's also pretty sweet.
It's pretty awesome.
And
it felt like a big match. Had that big match feel.
Yeah. Is this the first time... Is this not just the first Hell in a Cell women's match, but also the first time a women's match has ever closed a pay-per-view?
Yeah. This is the first time.
A WWE pay-per-view?
I know Lita and
Trish
have closed Raw.
Yeah.
But never a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the first women's match to close a pay-per-view.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So
it's funny because when did we talk about that? I asked you that question
a couple months ago.
It was like,
and we thought it would take a lot longer.
When did you, at what point do you think a women's match will main event a pay-per-view? And we were like,
in our hearts,
eventually,
right now, in WWE's mind, they're sharing main event duties with 2 other matches.
Yeah.
Fuck. 3 main events means no main event. Stop saying that. Yeah. So they're in the ring.
Yeah.
The cell is lowering.
Oh my God.
And before it comes all the way down, Charlotte wails on Sasha, knocking her out of the ring.
You know what I love the most about this moment was as Charlotte looks super confident the whole time.
Yeah.
And then as it starts lowering, she looks like she gets spooked.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my God, oh fuck. Yeah. Like, oh fuck. Like, I gotta win this now.
I'm gonna get stuck in here. Yeah. This is gonna be really bad.
Yeah, it was awesome. So Charlotte sucker punches Sasha as the things like the cage is lowering, and Sasha gets under the cage.
Yeah.
And it's still lowering. You're like, you're gonna fucking kill her, you maniacs! Like, what are you doing? Like, they weren't gonna obviously do it, but I got really worried there for a second. And I was like, we're gonna watch a woman die if I can't have that on my conscience.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
She's broken in half.
She's been
literally.
She's been chopped in half.
Severed in half.
Yeah. So when the cage is lowering, they start the fight. And then they do a little bit where they climb on the cage for...
They brawl through the crowd a little bit. They fight on the commentary table.
Yeah.
They sort of like climb up a little bit and then like punch each other off. And it ends up that like Sasha clears off one of the commentary tables and looks like she's going to put Charlotte through it. Charlotte sort of fights back. So Sasha starts climbing the cage. So Charlotte grabs her and power bombs her through the table.
Yeah. Ugh. It looked like it hurt.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
The refs sort of hold them apart. There's a big chant, like a "Let's go, Sasha," and then
did you do the stretcher's coming out for Sasha? And she's like,
Charlotte's like, great, all right. I guess I don't have to fight her in the cell.
Yeah,
I won, and I don't win the title, but I'm probably okay with this.
They milked this forever too. Yeah. Like it was like, oh, we know you're getting up. Just get up. Like this. I don't like this kind of thing because
I guess we're not getting a match.
Yeah, but I was like, I don't like this kind of stuff because I know like 95% of the time we're still getting a match, right? Mm-hmm. It's like the only time I actually got suckered into it was WrestleMania 30 when they did it with Daniel Bryan, and I was like, oh my God, they're not. This is how they're taking him out. Like,
now it seemed like JoJo was going to announce Charlotte as the new champ.
Yeah.
So I guess that would have been
like TKO.
Can matches
end before
the title changes on a TKO? I guess.
Well, Charlotte was still the champ, wasn't she?
No, Sasha's the champ going in.
Right. Why did I think? I was thinking Charlotte was the champ. Yeah. No. It did with Sami Zayn and Owens in NXT. Because Owens beat up Sami Zayn so bad that they called it TKO and it changed.
Okay, so I guess that's what's... Yeah.
Isn't that any different than... Like, it's no different from getting a submission hold and not tapping out.
Passing out?
Yeah.
Yeah, you still...
Because it's just the same.
Yeah.
You still lose.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
Yeah. So,
and it was like for this match, it's within the rules what they did.
Right.
I'm sure if it was like what Roman and Rusev did, like they just fought before the match started, no bell rang, and it was just like a normal match. No, I don't think the title should change hands.
Yeah, so the stretcher comes down, they load Sasha on, they put a neck brace on her, they're taking her out. Charlotte's like, yay, I'm great. JoJo starts announcing what's going on, and Sasha is like, no! And like fights back to her feet and is like, don't you dare. And the ref's like, okay, she said she's good, so whatever. The refs basically are like, if you say you're okay, then I guess you're okay. Because the ref's job is not to make medical calls, right? Yeah. So it's like, if the wrestler says they're fine, the ref's like, okay, you're missing a limb, but all right.
If you look at that from like if that was the actual workplace, like if this was real, it's like, are you all right? Yeah, I'm fine. All right.
She says she's fine.
Yeah.
So they get back inside, and the cell comes down, and now Charlotte is trapped in the cell with an injured but very angry Sasha Banks. And then the bell rings, and the match actually starts.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, the usual Hell in the Cell stuff, they throw each other into the cage a lot.
But man, they went for it. Like, this was a Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah, it was very
Throwing each other into the cage, chairs, table stuff. Flair was like screaming, like, you will respect me. And just like doing... Did Sasha not do, like, she did a suicide dive at Charlotte, right?
Into the outside,
because of the space between the ring and the cell means she's just diving at Charlotte into the side of the cell.
Yeah. I know, and a lot of us, like, it's easy for us to watch that and be like, oh, yeah, it wouldn't be so bad. It's like, fuck that. Like, even getting, like, because when you look at that chain link, go and run into a chain link fence.
Yeah.
And then just see how it feels. And that's probably...
Did you see that Sasha hit the Three Amigos?
No.
Yeah. The Three Amigos was Eddie's... he would three suplexes.
Oh, really?
In a row without letting go of the
like
the
Chris Benoit used to do with German suplexes.
Yeah. And she did the Three Amigos.
I didn't know it was called the Three Amigos though.
Yeah, Chavo used to do it as well after Eddie died. It's a three
like three snap suplexes. I remember it. Yeah.
But you don't let go of the other person. It's like wham, roll over, wham. Yeah, it was just they called it the Three Amigos.
Huh. I didn't know it had an actual name.
Yeah,
that's cool. The more you know.
This is a long match.
It's a long match. The ending...
Really good.
The ending comes when Charlotte is trying to put Sasha through this table in the ring. And she throws her at it, and Sasha just bounces off it, which I thought looked awesome.
Yeah.
It looked... I don't know if it was obviously not what they intended.
Yeah.
But Charlotte does it to Sasha like 2 or 3 times.
I think it's because the angle, because she's sort of throwing her kind of like... almost sideways onto it, and she needed to get more height.
She needed to
bring
do
the
like a hip toss, like a straight up and down kind of, and she was doing like this thing where she was like kind of just throwing her and she was like spinning.
Yeah, so she threw her at it once and didn't break, tried again and it still didn't break, but Sasha was obviously like messed up, and so basically after being thrown against a table twice, then Charlotte hit the natural selection and pinned Sasha.
And this goes with WWE's I don't think
weird vendetta against
hometown heroes. Yeah,
because Sasha's from Boston.
It's from Boston.
Yeah, and so Sasha loses the title to Charlotte.
How'd you feel about this when it happened?
So I didn't see it happen for like several weeks is the problem, because we were in Australia, and then we were setting up for Desert Bus, and then we were doing Desert Bus, and then Kathleen and I were moving house, and so
Fuck me, oh my god, I didn't know you guys moved.
Dude, my November was...
fucking doo-doo caca. That sucks.
This is why I'm real behind on stuff. Yeah. But that's I think I knew, but I was like, I don't know. I know that it got a really bad reaction at the time.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was because people were upset at hot potatoing the title, if people were upset because it felt like a botched finish, which I guess it was because the table didn't break, or if they were upset because she was losing in her hometown, and it was just the hometown crowd, particularly Boston, gets very loud. But
who's worse, Boston or Brooklyn?
Chicago.
Oh, yeah. Chicago's usually good, though. Well, they're a good crowd.
Except they don't shut up about CM Punk.
Yeah, it's true. I feel like I say this every fucking episode, Can we stop the CM Punk chants? And can we stop the what chants?
CM Punk chants haven't happened in a while.
Yeah, that's
which
true.
is nice.
The what chants need to fucking stop.
Yeah. But in the looking at this match, not only in the context of itself, but in this greater storyline.
Yeah.
It was fine. Like the finish totally worked for me. Like,
you know what
they made it look good. Yeah, the table didn't break, but they made it look good.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, Charlotte beat the piss out of Sasha and got it, and it's Hell in a Cell, man. Like, sure.
I like them switching the titles because it proves that both women are equals.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't think it diminishes either person in this feud, and I don't think it diminishes the title. Mm-hmm. Just means that these two are so equally matched that any given night, either one of them can win. It's like at no point do I feel like either one is the superior wrestler.
Yeah.
In kayfabe standards.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like this feud.
Me too.
So I know a lot of people are like, oh, because they have another match coming up.
This was almost a 23-minute match.
Yeah, good for them.
Actually, all three of the Hell in a Cell matches were about that long.
Yeah. It was announced.
The Roman Rusev one felt it.
Oh, God, that one felt like 8 hours long.
Twice as long, yeah.
They just announced hopefully, I'm assuming it's going to be the final match for these two at Roadblock.
Right, because Roadblock is now a full Raw
Roadblock
special now?
end of the line.
Weird.
I know, right?
It was called Roadblock because it was
just before WrestleMania.
It was the road to
stuff.
WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That's why it was called Roadblock.
I know.
What the hell?
I don't know. I guess they just really like the name.
I guess.
And they wanted to use it for a pay-per-view. I don't know why they just didn't use Armageddon, because wasn't that the December pay-per-view before?
I can't remember.
Back in the day? Back in the Attitude Era, wrestling's greatest period, it was Armageddon.
I'm trying to remember. We forgot to talk about, so at Clash of Champions, which was the last Raw special we talked about, Charlotte won the triple threat with Sasha
Holy
and
fuck,
Bayley.
we didn't even mention fucking Sasha winning the title. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Everyone must have been so confused. Okay. Sorry. On an episode of Raw.
Yeah. It was the October 3rd episode of Raw. Here we go, I have the note.
Fuck.
Bayley took out Dana Brooke backstage so that Dana couldn't interfere at ringside.
Yeah.
And then Sasha defeated Charlotte by submission to win the title back on an episode of Raw to become two-time champion.
So the way this feud worked out was Charlotte was champ, Sasha wins on our episode of Raw.
Yeah.
Charlotte gets the title back at Clash of Champions.
Yeah.
Sasha wins on an episode of Raw. Charlotte wins at Hell in the Cell.
Yeah. Has Sasha won it back already?
Yes. She won it back on an episode of Raw. And now they have another match at Roadblock.
I hope Sasha wins this one.
Assuming that Charlotte's going to win.
Wouldn't it be interesting if she didn't, though?
Yeah. It would be, but that's like, I mean, I understand. I just found it weird that Charlotte this year at pay-per-views is like 13-0 or some shit.
Yeah, it's nuts.
She's like undefeated, which is ridiculous. Like, you don't bet against Charlotte.
Yeah.
It's like you don't bet against a streak.
Yeah. So, and that was Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
Overall,
it was good.
Oh yeah, overall
it was
good.
Way better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I didn't expect from Raw leading into that pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And again, I guess I said that last time I watched a SmackDown pay-per-view. I was like, the first one, No Mercy. Mm-hmm. I was like, it looks okay.
Honestly, I mean, the three best matches were Charlotte and Sasha, Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins, and honestly, probably Kendrick and Perkins.
That was a great match. I loved Kendrick's character work.
And then the tag matches were the tag matches were pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
Rusev and Reigns. The thing is, Rusev and Reigns was it was a fine Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah.
It was just the Super Roman really put me off.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I think Roman has made some awesome strides this year as a wrestler.
Yeah.
But it's just this character needs to go away. We need something more substantial than just, I'm the big dog. I'm the fucking guy. You know what I mean?
I'm a big man.
Yeah, it's and every time I hear Michael Cole fillet Roman Reigns on the microphone, I just I get so sick. You know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
looks like the big dog's warming up. It's like, fuck me. Like, okay, I get it. But it's not working.
No.
And when we cover Survivor Series, Roman Reigns gets the best reaction whatsoever.
Yeah. Survivor Series will be, of course, the next episode, which we're actually just going to record right now.
Turn off and then turn it back on again.
Because that is the next. We talked about No Mercy, and then we talked about Hell in a Cell, and Survivor Series is co-branded, so both Raw and SmackDown leads us to Survivor Series, but in a storyline way. Not really, kind of.
You know what the great thing about covering Survivor Series, which I'm excited about, is like there's really not that much leading up to it. You know what I mean? Like
it's weird, yeah.
Yeah, there's some stuff that happens, but it's mostly like Jericho and Owens doing the list, and then the go home episode of Raw has everybody on it.
Yeah.
Which was actually pretty awesome.
Yeah. So that'll be the next episode. Until then,
yes.
Thank you so much for watching and listening, as always. Adam is on Twitter.
I'm on Twitter. I'm at WakeUpSuper. Graham's on Twitter.
I'm on Twitter at Graham_LRR.
Yes.
And all of this and all the other stuff that we do is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/LoadingReadyRun.
Yep.
Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah. Also, you can catch Loading Ready Run doing all kinds of content on twitch.tv/LoadingReadyRun.
Correct.
There's something for everyone.
Also, if you're not subbed to this channel, the YouTube channel, if you're watching on YouTube, please do, because like we were making leaps on the YouTube subs, and then some algorithm thing happened, and we like lost a bunch of subs. And,
really?
Yeah. So we were like almost at 90, and then we're like down to 86.
Really?
It matters for the more subs you have, the more people see. It's like it's a snowball effect on YouTube. YouTube's messed, man. That's why people are always like, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe.
You know what? I don't pay a lot of attention to like how all this stuff works, like Twitch and YouTube and like.
It's weird.
But it's like how it works for subscribers and stuff. But that sucks.
Yeah,
I've heard not a lot of people have been very happy with the way YouTube is handling things.
YouTube's been making some weird changes recently. That they're like, no, everything's fine and the same, and people are like, it's not though. So anyway, whatever. That's not for here. But anyway, thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.
Yeah, we'll be back for Survivor Series.
Bye.
Bye.